that. Like so many of us, the topic of money sparks your curiosity, maybe a little anxiety, or simply a deep desire to take control. Today, we're not going to talk about magic formulas to get rich overnight. Those don't exist. Instead, for the next hour, we're going to do something much more valuable. We are going to build, brick by brick, a solid foundation for your financial well-being. We're going to demystify concepts, create habits, and change our mindset about money. So, get comfortable. Maybe grab a coffee or tea. Turn off the distractions, because this hour is an investment in yourself, an investment in your future, your peace of mind, and your freedom. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Mindset is everything. Your relationship with money. Before we talk about numbers, budgets, or investments, we have to talk about what's in your head. Your financial mindset is the foundation of everything. If the foundation is weak, any structure you build on top of it will crumble. Money isn't good or evil. It's a tool. A very powerful tool that can build dreams or dig pits of stress. How do you see that tool? Do you see it as something scarce, hard to get, a source of conflict? Or do you see it as something that flows, an energy you can direct to create the life you desire? The first piece of advice, and perhaps the most important of this hour, is this. Practice financial gratitude. Right now, no matter your situation, you have something to be grateful for. You have a roof over your head, food to eat, the ability to be watching this video. Start each day by acknowledging the abundance that already exists in your life. This simple shift in focus from scarcity to gratitude rewires your brain. It opens you up to see opportunities instead of obstacles. The second mindset tip, forgive yourself for your past financial mistakes. We've all made them. Impulse buys, debt we shouldn't have taken on, savings opportunities we let slip by. Beating yourself up over it does nothing. It's like driving while constantly looking in the rearview mirror. You're going to crash. Accept those mistakes as lessons, valuable lessons that cost you money. Yes, but they brought you here, ready to learn and do better. The past is over. Your power is in the now. And the third mindset tip, define your why. Why do you want to have healthy finances? The answer can't just be to have more money. That's too vague. You have to go deeper. Is it to provide security for your family? To be able to travel the world? To leave a job you don't like and start your own business? To have the peace of mind that if an emergency happens tomorrow, you'll be covered? Write down your why on a piece of paper and put it somewhere you'll see it. On your desk, on your bathroom mirror. When motivation wanes, when you feel tempted to stray from the plan, your why will be the lighthouse that guides you back to the path. Chapter 2. The treasure map. Budgeting and tracking expenses. All right. With the right mindset, it's time to draw the map. You can't get to a destination if you don't know where you are right now. And in finance, your starting point is knowing exactly where your money is going. The first tip in this chapter, make peace with the word budget. A budget is not a financial diet that forbids you from everything you enjoy. A budget is a tool of freedom. It's a plan that tells your money where to go, instead of you wondering where it went at the end of the month. There are many methods, but let's start with a simple and powerful one. The 50-30-20th rule. It's very easy. You divide your net income into 3 categories. 50% for needs. This is everything essential for living. Rent or mortgage, utility bills, internet, transportation to work, groceries. These are the fixed and unavoidable expenses. 30% for wants. This is for lifestyle and entertainment. Eating out, movies, streaming, subscriptions, clothes that aren't strictly necessary, vacations. This is the fun part, and it's important to have it so you don't feel deprived. 20% for savings and investments. This is the most important category for your future. This is where money for paying down debt, your emergency fund, your retirement, and your investments goes. This 20% is the money that works for you. This is a starting point. You can adjust it. Maybe your needs are 60% and your wants are 20%. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you have a plan. The second tip, track every penny for 1 month. How do you know if you're following the 50-30-20 rule? By tracking your spending for 30 days. Write down absolutely everything you spend money on. From your morning coffee to that monthly subscription you forgot about. You can use a notebook, a spreadsheet, or one of the many apps available for this. You will be surprised. You will discover money leaks, those small ant expenses that, when added up, become a huge amount at the end of the month. This exercise is not to judge yourself. It's to become aware. Awareness is the first step toward change. Once you have 1 month's data, you can create your realistic budget. You'll see where you can cut back in the wants category to increase your savings category. Chapter 3. Breaking the chains. How to get out of debt? Debt is like carrying a backpack full of rocks while trying to climb a mountain. It slows you down, exhausts you, and takes away your energy to move forward. Getting rid of high-interest debt, like credit card debt or personal loans, should be your #1 priority after establishing a small emergency fund. First tip, face the beast. Make a list of all your debts. Don't bury your head in the sand, get a pen and paper and make a list. For each debt, write down who you owe, the total amount you owe, the interest rate, the minimum monthly payment. Seeing the numbers in black and white can be scary, but it's necessary. Now you have identified your enemy. Second tip, choose your attack strategy, avalanche or snowball. The avalanche method. This involves ordering your debts from the highest interest rate to the lowest. You make minimum payments on all your debts, except for the one with the highest interest rate. You throw every extra dollar you can at that one. Once that debt is paid off, you take all the money you are paying towards it and apply it to the next one on the list. Mathematically, this is the method where you'll pay the least amount of interest overall. The snowball method. This involves ordering your debts from the smallest total balance to the largest. You make minimum payments on all of them, except for the smallest one. You throw every extra dollar at that one. When you pay it off, you celebrate. You've had a quick win. That motivation fuels you to keep going. Then, you take all the money you were paying on that small debt and add it to the payment for the next smallest one, and so on, creating a snowball of increasingly larger payments. Psychologically, this is very powerful. Which is better, the one that works for you? If you're a very rational and disciplined person, the avalanche is more efficient. If you need quick wins to stay motivated, the snowball is your ally. The important thing is to pick one and be consistent. Third tip, stop digging the hole. While you're paying off debt, put the credit cards away. Pay for everything you can with a debit card or cash. You can't get out of a hole if you keep digging. Chapter 4. The Financial Life Raft. Your emergency fund? Life is unpredictable. The car breaks down. You lose your job? There's a medical emergency? An emergency fund is money you have set aside, liquid and accessible, exclusively for these unpleasant surprises. It is not for vacations. It is not for an impulse buy. It is your safety net. First tip, your first goal is to build a mini emergency fund. Even before you aggressively attack your debt, save between $500 and $1,000. Because if a small emergency comes up while you're paying off debt, you won't have to resort to a credit card again, undoing all your progress. This small cushion gives you the peace of mind to get started. Second tip, the ultimate goal is 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. Once you've paid off your high-interest debt, your next mission is to build your full emergency fund. Look at your budget and calculate how much you need to cover your needs for 1 month. Multiply that number by 3, 4, 5, or 6. If you have a very stable job, 3 months might be enough. If you're a freelancer or your industry is unstable, aim for 6 months or even more. This money will give you the power to say no to situations that aren't right for you, and the peace of mind of knowing that, no matter what happens, you have time to react. Third tip, keep your emergency fund in the right place. This money should not be invested in the stock market, because its value could drop right when you need it. It also shouldn't be in your regular checking account, because the temptation to spend it is too great. The ideal place is a high-yield savings account, separate from your daily checking account. This way, the money isn't too easy to access, but you can get to it in 24 to 48 hours if you need it. And in the meantime, it earns you a little bit of interest. Chapter 5. Pay yourself first. The habit of automatic savings. We've talked about saving, but how do we turn it into a foolproof habit? The answer is automation. The key advice here is, pay yourself first. Most people operate like this. They get their paycheck, pay their bills, spend on fun, and if there's anything left at the end of the month, they save it. The problem is, there's almost never anything left. You must reverse the order. Get your paycheck, and immediately, a portion of it goes to savings. You live on the rest. You treat your savings like another bill, the most important bill of all. The bill for your future. How do you do this in practice? Talk to your bank or go to your online banking portal and set up an automatic transfer on the 1st or 2nd of every month, right after you get paid. Arrange for a fixed amount to be automatically transferred from your checking account to your savings or investment account. At first, you might feel a little tight, but in a month or two, your brain will adjust to living on the remaining amount. You won't even notice that money is gone, but it will be quietly growing in the background, building your wealth. Automation removes the need for willpower. It's the most powerful trick for saving consistently. Chapter 6. The Magic of Growing Your Money. An introduction to investing. Once you have no bad debt and your emergency fund is complete, the most exciting part begins. Making your money work for you. Saving is great, but if you leave your money sitting in an account, it loses value every year because of a silent enemy. Inflation. Inflation is the general increase in prices. The coffee that costs $3 today will cost $3.50 in a few years. If your money doesn't grow, at least at the same rate as inflation, you're actually losing purchasing power. Investing is the tool to combat inflation and grow your wealth. And the most magical concept in investing is compound interest. Albert Einstein reportedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. In simple terms, compound interest is the interest you earn on your interest. It's a snowball effect. Imagine you invest $1,000 and earn 10% in 1 year. You have $1,100. The next year, you don't earn 10% on the initial $1,000, but on the $1,100. So you earn $110. Now you have $1,210. And the next year, the 10% is calculated on $1,210. It seems slow at first, but over time, the effect is explosive. That's why an investor's best friend isn't intelligence. It's time. The earlier you start, even with a small amount, the more time the magic of compound interest has to work. First tip for getting started in investing. Don't try to beat the market, be the market. Many people think investing is about picking the next big tech stock. That's very risky and requires a lot of knowledge. For most of us, the best strategy is the simplest one. Invest in index funds. An index fund is a basket that holds small pieces of hundreds or thousands of the world's largest companies. By buying a share of this fund, you are automatically diversifying your risk. If one company does poorly, others will do well. In the long run, the world economy tends to grow, and with it, the value of your fund. It's a passive low-cost strategy that has historically proven to be very effective. You don't need to be a financial genius, you just need discipline and patience. Second tip. Understand your risk tolerance. Investing always involves risk. The value of your money can go up, but it can also go down in the short term. It's crucial that you only invest money you won't need for the next 5, 10, or more years. Your emergency fund is for the short term. Your investments are for the long term. If you're young, you can afford to take on more risk because you have decades to recover from market downturns. If you're closer to retirement, you'll want a more conservative portfolio with more bonds and fewer stocks. Third tip. Consistency beats talent. Invest periodically. Don't try to time the market. No one can do it consistently. The best strategy is known as dollar cost averaging. This means investing the same amount of money every month, rain or shine. If the market is high, your money will buy fewer shares. If the market has dropped, your same amount of money will buy more shares at a sale price. Over the long term, this smooths out the ups and downs and reduces your risk. You can automate this, just like you automate your savings. Set up a monthly transfer from your bank account to your brokerage account. Chapter 7. Optimizing the game. Increasing your income and spending intelligently. We've talked about managing the money you have, but the financial equation has two sides: what you spend and what you earn. To accelerate your path to financial freedom, you have to work on both. First tip. Actively look for ways to increase your income. This can mean many things. Ask for a raise. Research the average salary for your position and experience. Prepare a document with your accomplishments and the value you bring to the company, and present your case professionally. Develop new skills. Take courses. Get certifications. The more valuable you are in the job market, the more you can earn. Start a side hustle. Are you good at writing, design, teaching something? Can you sell products online? Dedicating a few hours a week to a side project can generate extra money. That goes entirely toward your savings and investment goals, accelerating the process incredibly. Second tip. Differentiate between being cheap and being intentional with your spending. Being cheap is always buying the least expensive option, even if it's poor quality and you have to replace it soon. Being intentional is spending generously on the things you truly value and cutting back mercilessly on the things you don't. Before a major purchase, ask yourself, does this align with my values and my why? Do I truly need this? Or is it an impulse? How many hours of my life did I have to work to afford this? Apply the 72-hour rule. For any non-essential purchase over a certain amount, wait 3 days. If you still want it just as badly after 72 hours, then consider buying it. Often, the impulsive desire will have faded. Third tip. Beware of lifestyle inflation. This is a very common phenomenon. When you get a raise or start earning more, you automatically increase your spending. A more expensive car, a bigger house, more frequent dinners at fancy restaurants. If you increase your spending in the same proportion every time your income increases, you'll never get out of the rat race. When your income increases, celebrate, of course. Treat yourself, but allocate at least half of that new money directly to your savings and investment goals. By doing this, you're buying your future freedom, which is the greatest luxury of all. Chapter 8. The journey is forever. Continuous financial education and long-term vision. You've made it this far. You have the mindset, the map, the tools to get out of debt, the life raft, and the money-growing machine. The final chapter is about understanding that this isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. It's a lifestyle. First tip. Never stop learning. The financial world changes. Your life changes. What's a good strategy today might not be tomorrow. Dedicate a little time each week to your financial education. Read books, listen to podcasts, follow reliable experts on YouTube. Become the CFO of your own life. No one will care more about your money than you do. Some books I recommend to get started. The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, or I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Prenups. Second tip, review your plan periodically, but don't obsess. It's good to sit down every 6 months or once a year to review your budget, your investments, and your goals. Are they still relevant? Do you need to adjust anything? But please, do not check the value of your investments every day. The short-term market is volatile and emotional. If you see your portfolio has dropped one day, you might panic and sell at the worst possible time. Trust your long-term strategy, put it on autopilot, and let time and compound interest do their work. Third and final tip for this hour. Talk about money. In our culture, talking about money is often taboo, and that hurts all of us. Talk to your partner about your shared financial goals. Share what you've learned with your friends. Teach your children from a young age about the value of money, saving, and patience. By normalizing these conversations, we create a community of support and learning that makes us all stronger and more financially savvy. Chapter 9, Mastering the Credit Game. Now, let's talk about a 3-digit number that holds a surprising amount of power over your financial life in the United States. Your credit score. Many people are either afraid of it or don't fully understand it. But think of it like this. Your credit score is your financial GPA. It's a report card that tells lenders how responsible you are with borrowed money. Why does it matter so much? A good credit score unlocks lower interest rates on everything from car loans to mortgages, which can save you tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. It can even affect your ability to rent an apartment or the rates you pay on car insurance. So, how do you build and maintain a great score? It's simpler than you think and boils down to a few key habits. First, and most importantly, pay your bills on time, every single time. This is the single biggest factor in your credit score. Even one late payment can have a significant negative impact. Set up automatic payments for all your recurring bills to make this effortless. Second tip, keep your credit utilization low. This is the percentage of your available credit that you're currently using. For example, if you have a credit card with a $10,000 limit and you have a $1,000 balance, your utilization is 10%. A good rule of thumb is to keep this number below 30%, but below 10% is even better. This shows lenders you aren't over-reliant on debt. Third, don't close old credit cards. A major part of your score is the length of your credit history. An old, unused credit card that you've had for a decade is actually helping your score by increasing the average age of your accounts. Just keep it open. Use it once or twice a year for a small purchase to keep it active and pay it off immediately. Remember, a credit card is a tool, not an extension of your income. Use it responsibly to build your score, earn rewards, and add a layer of fraud protection to your purchases. But always pay the balance in full every month. Chapter 10. Designing your dream retirement. We've talked about the importance of investing, but let's get specific about the most powerful tool most people have for building long-term wealth: retirement accounts. These aren't just regular investment accounts. They come with incredible tax advantages. The first one you need to know about is the 401, which is often offered by employers. Here is the single most important rule about your 401. If your company offers a match, you must contribute enough to get the full match. An employer match is when your company contributes money to your account on your behalf. For example, they might match 100% of your contributions up to 4% of your salary. This is a 100% return on your investment, instantly. It is free money. There is no other investment in the world that can guarantee that. Not taking the full match is like turning down a pay raise. Next, let's talk about the IRA, or individual retirement account. There are two main types: the traditional IRA and the Roth IRA. The main difference is when you pay taxes. With a traditional IRA, your contributions may be tax deductible now, which lowers your taxable income for the year. But you will pay income taxes on the money when you withdraw it in retirement. With a Roth IRA, you contribute with money you've already paid taxes on, but the magic happens later. All of your growth and all of your withdrawals in retirement are 100% tax-free. For many people, especially when you're younger and in a lower tax bracket, the Roth IRA is incredibly powerful. A simple, effective plan is this. 1. Contribute to your 401 up to the full employer match. 2. Fully fund a Roth IRA. 3. If you still have money to invest, go back and contribute more to your 401 until you hit the annual maximum. Chapter 11. Your financial shield. The role of insurance. Building wealth is one half of the equation. The other half is protecting it. A single, unexpected event, a serious illness, an accident can wipe out years of hard work. This is where insurance comes in. Think of it not as an expense, but as a shield that protects your financial fortress. There are a few key types of insurance that are essential for a solid financial plan. First, health insurance. In the U.S., this is non-negotiable. Medical debt is one of the leading causes of bankruptcy. A good health insurance plan is your first line of defense. Second, disability insurance. This is one of the most overlooked but most critical forms of insurance. Your single greatest asset is your ability to earn an income. Disability insurance replaces a portion of your income if you become sick or injured and are unable to work. It protects your future earning potential. Third, term life insurance. If you have anyone who depends on your income, spouse, children, or even aging parents, you need life insurance. Term life insurance is typically the best option for most people. It's simple, affordable, and covers you for a specific period, like 20 or 30 years, which is usually when your kids are grown and your mortgage is paid off. It provides a financial safety net for your loved ones, if the worst should happen. Finally, renters or homeowners insurance. This protects your physical belongings from things like fire, theft, or natural disasters. It also provides liability coverage in case someone is injured on your property. It's a small price to pay for immense peace of mind. Chapter 12. The path to homeownership. For many, owning a home is a cornerstone of the American dream. It can be a great way to build equity and stability, but it's also one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Let's break down how to approach it wisely. The first hurdle is the down payment. You've probably heard you need 20%. While a 20% down payment allows you to avoid private mortgage insurance, which is an extra fee you pay to protect the lender, it's not always a requirement. Many conventional loans are available with as little as 3 to 5% down, and government-backed loans like FHA loans can be even lower. Before you even start looking at houses, your first step should be to get pre-approved for a mortgage. This will tell you exactly how much you can realistically borrow, which gives you a firm budget and makes you a much more serious buyer in the eyes of sellers. Next, understand that your monthly payment is more than just the loan. It's often referred to as PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Principal and interest go to the lender to pay off your loan. Taxes refer to property taxes, which you pay to your local government. Insurance is your homeowner's insurance. In some cases, you may also have HOA fees. All of these together make up your true monthly housing costs. And finally, remember the hidden costs of ownership. You are now your own landlord. When the water heater breaks or the roof leaks, you have to pay for it. A good rule of thumb is to budget 1 to 2% of your home's value each year for maintenance and repairs. Chapter 13. Investing for life's milestones. Retirement isn't the only major goal you'll invest for. What about saving for a new car in 5 years, a down payment on a house, or your child's college education in 15? These medium-term goals require a different strategy. 4 goals that are more than 5 years away, but less than a few decades. Putting your money in a high-yield savings account might be too slow to outpace inflation, but putting it in a retirement account like a 401 locks it away for too long. The solution is a standard taxable brokerage account. This is a flexible investment account with no contribution limits and no restrictions on when you can withdraw the money. You can invest in the same low-cost index funds we discussed earlier, allowing your money to grow for these medium-term goals. Just remember that when you sell your investments for a profit, you will have to pay capital gains taxes. For one specific goal education, there's a special, powerful tool, the 5 to 9 plan. This is a tax-advantaged investment account designed specifically for education savings. Contributions may offer a state tax deduction, and the money grows tax. Best of all, withdrawals are completely tax-free when used for qualified education expenses, like college tuition, books, and even some K-12 costs. The key principle is to match your investment risk to your time horizon. The less time you have until you need the money, the more conservative your investments should be to protect your principal. Chapter 14. Making taxes work for you, not against you. Taxes are likely your single largest expense in life, yet most of us spend more time trying to save a few dollars on a new TV than we do trying to understand our own tax situation. You don't need to become a tax expert, but understanding a few key concepts can save you thousands. The most important concept is using tax-advantaged accounts. As we discussed, every dollar you put into a traditional 401 or IRA reduces your taxable income for the year. Every dollar you invest in a Roth account grows and can be withdrawn completely tax-free. Prioritizing these accounts is the easiest and most powerful way to be taxed. Next, understand the difference between a tax deduction and a tax credit. They both reduce your tax bill, but in different ways. A deduction lowers your total taxable income. A credit, on the other hand, is a dollar-for-dollar reduction of the taxes you owe. A $1,000 tax credit is much more powerful than a $1,000 tax deduction. Be aware of common credits, like those for children or for education expenses. The goal isn't to avoid paying taxes. That's illegal. The goal is to avoid paying more than you legally owe. By being strategic and using the accounts and rules designed to help you, you can significantly increase the amount of money you get to keep and invest for your future. Chapter 15. Financial minimalism. Spending on what matters. We've talked a lot about the numbers, but let's circle back to the mindset. Financial health isn't about deprivation. It's about intention. It's about consciously directing your money toward the things that bring you genuine value and happiness. This philosophy is sometimes called financial minimalism. It's not about owning nothing. It's about making sure everything you own serves a purpose and brings you joy. It's about escaping the trap of consumerism and the pressure to keep up with the Joneses. The Joneses are probably broke. Anyway, practice value-based spending. Identify the 2 to 3 things you absolutely love. Maybe it's travel, high quality, food, or a specific hobby. Give yourself permission to spend extravagantly on those things. Then, be absolutely ruthless in cutting costs on everything else that you don't care about. If you don't care about having the latest phone or designer clothes, stop spending money there and redirect it to what truly matters to you or your savings goals. This approach brings an incredible sense of freedom. When you stop buying things to impress others and start aligning your spending with your own authentic values, you'll find you need a lot less to be happy. True wealth isn't about having more stuff. It's about having control over your time and the freedom to live life on your own terms. Chapter 16. From personal finance to generational wealth. Once you have your own financial house in order, you're debt-free. You have an emergency fund, and you're consistently investing. You can start thinking bigger. You can shift your focus from simply achieving your own financial security to building a legacy that can last for generations. This isn't just for the old. Building generational wealth starts with the solid foundation we've been discussing, but it involves 2 key additional steps. The first is basic estate planning. This is simply deciding what happens to your assets when you're gone. At a minimum, every adult needs a will. A will is a legal document that outlines your wishes, ensuring your assets go to the people you choose, and if you have children, designating who you want to be their guardian. Without a will, the state decides for you, which can be a long, expensive, and emotionally draining process for your family. The second, and arguably more important, component of generational wealth is teaching financial literacy. The greatest inheritance you can give your children isn't a pile of money. It's the knowledge and skills to manage money wisely themselves. Talk to them about budgeting, saving, and investing from an early age. Be open about your own financial journey, including your successes and mistakes. By passing on this wisdom, you give them the tools to not only protect what you leave them, but to continue building upon it. This is how you create a true legacy of financial well-being. Chapter 17. The Psychology of Money. Winning the Inner Game. We've covered the what and the how of personal finance. Now, let's talk about the why specifically. Why we so often act against our own best interests. When it comes to money, your biggest financial enemy isn't the stock market or high taxes. It's the person looking back at you in the mirror. Our brains are hardwired with biases that served our ancestors well on the savannah, but can be disastrous in modern financial markets. One is loss aversion. Studies show that the pain of losing $100 feels about twice as strong as the pleasure of gaining $100. This is why people panic and sell their investments during a market downturn. They're trying to stop the pain, even though history shows that's the worst possible time to sell. Another is FOMO, or fear of missing out. We see a friend getting rich on a hot stock or a new and we feel an overwhelming urge to jump in, often at the peak, without doing any research. We're driven by herd mentality, not by a sound strategy. So how do you combat this? The single best defense against your own emotional brain is to create a system and stick to it. This is why we automate our savings and investments. This is why you write down your financial plan and your why. When you're feeling scared or greedy, you don't have to think. You just have to follow the plan you made when you were calm and rational. Your system is your shield against your own worst impulses. Chapter 18. Your career as a wealth-building machine. For most of us, our primary source of income is our job. While we focus a lot on cutting expenses, optimizing your career and increasing your salary can have an exponentially greater impact on your ability to build wealth. Think of it this way. There's a limit to how much you can cut, but there's virtually no limit to how much you can earn. The first step is to know your worth. Use websites like Glassdoor, PayScale, and Levels.fyi to research what someone with your skills, experience, and in your location is earning. Knowledge is power in any negotiation. Second, become a master of your craft and document your wins. Don't just do your job, excel at it. Keep a running list of your accomplishments, successful projects, and any time you've saved or made the company money. When it's time to ask for a raise, you won't be talking about what you need. You'll be presenting a business case based on the value you provide. Third, and this is a big one, don't be afraid to change jobs. The single fastest way to get a significant pay increase is often by switching companies. While loyalty is a virtue, blind loyalty to an employer who doesn't pay you what you're worth is a financial mistake. Aim to reevaluate your position every 2 to 3 years. Even if you don't leave, interviewing with other companies can give you valuable salary data and leverage in your current role. Chapter 19. The Money Conversation. Finance for Couples. If you're in a long-term relationship, one of the most important and often most difficult conversations you can have is about money. Financial disagreements are a leading cause of stress in relationships. But when you get on the same page, you become an unstoppable financial team. The key is to approach it as a team, not as adversaries. Schedule a money date time with no distractions where you can talk openly and without judgment. Start by sharing your individual money stories and your why. This builds empathy and understanding. Then, you need to decide how to manage your logistics. There are 3 common models: fully merged, all income goes into one pot, and all expenses are paid from it. This is total transparency and teamwork. Yours, mine, and ours. You each keep separate accounts for personal spending, but contribute to a joint account for shared bills like rent, utilities, and groceries. This offers a balance of teamwork and individual autonomy. Fully separate. You keep your finances completely separate and decide who pays for which bills. This requires excellent communication to ensure everything is covered. There is no right way. The best system is the one you both agree on, and that allows you to work together toward your shared goals, like buying a house or retiring together. The goal is transparency and teamwork. Chapter 20. The Ultimate Scorecard. Tracking your net worth. Budgets and savings rates are important, but they only tell part of the story. The ultimate measure of your financial health, your true financial snapshot, is your net worth. The calculation is simple. Assets, liabilities, equals net worth. Assets are everything you own that has value. This includes cash in your savings and checking accounts, the value of your investments, the equity in your home, and the value of your car. Liabilities are everything you owe. This includes your mortgage balance, student loans, car loans, and any credit card debt. Your goal is to make this number go up over time. Why is this metric so powerful? Because it accounts for both sides of the equation. Someone who earns a high salary but has massive debts might have a lower net worth than a teacher who has been diligently saving and investing for years. Calculate your net worth once or twice a year. Don't obsess over it, but use it as a high-level checkup. Seeing that number grow is one of the most motivating things you can do on your financial journey. It's the tangible proof that your hard work and discipline are paying off. Chapter 21. The Side Hustle Playbook. We've talked about the power of increasing your income, and a side hustle is a fantastic way to do it. It's extra money you can use to obliterate debt or supercharge your investments. Let's move from theory to action. First, monetize a skill you already have. Are you a great writer, a graphic designer, or a coder at your day job? You can freelance those skills on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr. Do you have a hobby you love, like photography, woodworking, or baking? You can turn that into a small business. Even skills like organizing, cleaning, or pet sitting are in high demand. Second, start small and treat it like an experiment. You don't need a fancy business plan. Your goal is to get your first paying client. Offer your services to friends and family for a discount to build a portfolio and get testimonials. Third, and this is crucial, give every dollar from your side hustle a specific job. Open a separate bank account just for this income. When money comes in, immediately transfer it to your high-yield savings account or your brokerage account. This prevents the money from getting absorbed into your regular spending. By earmarking it, you'll see a direct and powerful connection between your extra work and your progress toward financial freedom. Chapter 22. Investing Beyond the Basics. Asset allocation. You know you need to invest in low-cost index funds. Now let's add a layer of sophistication. Asset allocation. This is simply how you divide your investments among different types of assets, primarily stocks and bonds. Think of it like a basketball team. Stocks are your offense. They have the highest potential for growth and are the engine of your long-term returns, but they are also more volatile. Bonds are your defense. They are more stable and less risky. They don't grow as fast, but they protect your portfolio from severe downturns. Your personal asset allocation, your mix of stocks and bonds, depends almost entirely on your time horizon and risk tolerance. If you are young, with decades until retirement, you can afford to be aggressive, perhaps with 90% in stocks and 10% in bonds. You have plenty of time to recover from any market dips. If you are nearing retirement, you'll want to be more conservative, perhaps with 60% stocks and 40% bonds. Your priority shifts from growth to capital preservation. Many target date retirement funds handle this for you automatically, becoming more conservative as you get closer to your retirement date. Understanding asset allocation allows you to take control and ensure your investment strategy is perfectly aligned with your personal goals. Chapter 23. The FIRE Movement. A new definition of retirement. You may have heard of the FIRE movement, which stands for Financial Independence. Retire early. It's a lifestyle movement of people who are saving and investing aggressively with the goal of retiring decades earlier than the traditional age. But the most important part of FIRE isn't the RI, it's the fee. Financial independence is the point at which you have enough income from your investments to cover your living expenses forever. You no longer have to work for money. This doesn't mean you have to stop working. it means work becomes a choice. You can pursue a passion project, start a nonprofit, work part-time, or, yes, sit on a beach. The power is in the choice. The math behind FIRE is surprisingly simple. It's all about your savings. Rate the percentage of your after-tax income that you save. If you save 10% of your income, it will take you over 50 years to reach FI. But if you can increase your savings rate to 50% by both earning more and spending less, you can reach financial independence in about 17 years. The higher your savings rate, the faster you buy your freedom. Chapter 24. Protecting your digital financial life. In our digital age, your financial fortress needs a digital moat and walls. Cybersecurity is a critical part of personal finance. First, practice password hygiene. Never reuse passwords across different financial sites. Use a trusted password manager to generate and store long, complex, unique passwords for every account. It's the single most effective thing you can do. Second, enable two-factor authentication on everything. This means that even if someone steals your password, they can't access your account without a second code, usually sent to your phone. Turn it on for your bank, your brokerage, your email. Third, be relentlessly skeptical. Financial institutions will never email or text you asking for your password or other sensitive information. These are phishing scams designed to trick you. If you get a suspicious message, don't click any links. Go directly to the institution's website or call the number on the back of your card. Finally, consider freezing your credit with the 3 major credit bureaus: Experian, Equifax, and Transit. A credit freeze prevents anyone from opening a new line of credit in your name. It's free to do and is one of the most powerful ways to prevent identity theft. Chapter 25. The true cost of things. Opportunity cost. Here's a concept that will fundamentally change how you view spending. Opportunity cost. The opportunity cost of any decision is the value of the next best alternative you had to give up. When it comes to money, it means that every dollar you spend today is a dollar you cannot invest for your future. The true cost of an item isn't its price tag. It's what that money could have become. Let's take a daily $5 coffee. The price is $5, but the opportunity cost is staggering. If you instead invested that $5 every day, after 30 years, assuming an average market return, you could have over $100,000. So that's not a $5 coffee, it's a $100,000 coffee. When you're considering a large non-essential purchase luxury car, an expensive watch done, just think about the sticker price. Ask yourself, what is the opportunity cost? What could this $50,000 become in 10, 20, or 30 years if I invested it instead? This simple question reframes spending from instant gratification to a conscious trade-off with your future self. Chapter 26. Giving back. The role of charitable giving. A truly mature financial plan isn't just about accumulation. It's also about contribution. Incorporating charitable giving into your financial life can be one of the most fulfilling uses of your money. Start by building giving into your budget. Just like you pay yourself first, you can allocate a certain percentage of your income each month to causes you care about. This makes giving an intentional habit, not an afterthought. As your wealth grows, you can give more strategically. One of the most tax-efficient ways to give is by donating appreciated assets, like stocks, directly to a charity. Let's say you bought a stock for $1,000 and it's now worth $5,000. If you sell it, you'll owe capital gains tax on the $4,000 profit. But if you donate the stock directly, the charity receives the full $5,000, and you generally don't have to pay the capital gains tax. It's a win-win. Generosity completes the circle of financial wealth. It shifts your mindset from one of personal gain to one of abundance and positive impact on the world. Chapter 27. Avoiding financial gurus and get-rich-quick schemes. As you progress on your financial journey, you will be bombarded with opportunities that sound too good to be true. They almost always are. Your final layer of defense is learning to spot the red flags of financial predators. First, be wary of anyone who guarantees high returns. Investing always involves risk. Anyone who promises a guaranteed 20% return is either lying or running a scam. Second, be cautious of unnecessary complexity. The most effective investment strategies are remarkably simple. If a guru is pushing a complex system involving options, forex trading, or secret algorithms, they are likely selling you a product, not sound advice. Third, watch out for high-pressure sales tactics. Any legitimate financial opportunity will still be there tomorrow. If someone is pressuring you to act now before it's too late, it's a massive red flag. The path to wealth is boring. It's about discipline, patience, and consistency over many years. It's about saving more than you spend and investing in broad low-cost index funds. Ignore the noise, stick to the proven path, and you will succeed. Chapter 28. The Art of Negotiation. One of the most powerful, yet underutilized, financial skills is negotiation. We negotiate constantly in life, but many of us are afraid to do it when money is on the table. Mastering this skill can save and earn you tens, if not hundreds, of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Let's start with big purchases. When buying a car or a house, the listed price is almost always a starting point, not a final number. The key is to do your research first. Know the fair market value of the car or what similar homes in the area have sold for. When you negotiate based on data, not emotion, you are in a position of power. The same applies to your salary, as we've discussed. But don't forget to negotiate other things. 2. Are you signing a new lease? Maybe you can negotiate for a free month's rent or an included parking spot. Are you paying for a subscription service you've had for years? Call them and politely ask if there are any loyalty discounts available. Often, there are. The golden rule of negotiation is simple. He or she who speaks first loses. When a car salesperson asks what monthly payment you're looking for, don't answer. Instead, ask for their best, out-the-door price. Always let them make the first offer. It might be much lower than you expected. You can't get what you don't ask for. A Pilat, is that the best you can do? Is a simple but incredibly powerful question. Chapter 29. The financial impact of major life events. Life is not a straight line. There will be major events: getting married, having a child, changing careers, dealing with an illness that have a profound impact on your finances. The key is to anticipate and plan for them. When having a child, the financial shock can be significant. It's not just diapers and daycare. You'll need to update your will, increase your life insurance coverage, and start thinking about college savings. Budgeting for these new, large expenses before the baby arrives can ease the transition. When changing careers, especially if it involves a pay cut to pursue a passion, your emergency fund is your best friend. Having 6 months or more of living expenses saved gives you a runway to make that transition without financial stress. The goal isn't to have a perfect plan for every contingency. That's impossible. The goal is to build a financial foundation so robust with a large emergency fund, low debt, and a strong savings habit that you can weather any of life's storms. Your financial plan gives you the stability and flexibility to handle life as it happens. Chapter 30. Health and Wealth. The inseparable link. We often treat our physical health and our financial health as two separate things, but they are deeply intertwined. Taking care of your body is one of the best financial investments you can make. First, the direct costs. Preventative care, regular checkups, a healthy diet, consistent exercises, infinitely cheaper than treating chronic diseases like diabetes or heart disease down the road. High medical bills can derail even the best-laid financial plans. Second, the impact on your income. Good health means more energy, better focus, and fewer sick days. This directly translates to better performance at work, which can lead to promotions and higher earnings. In contrast, poor health can limit your ability to work and earn, sometimes drastically. Finally, think about your health span, not just your lifespan, but the number of years you live in good health. What's the point of reaching financial independence if you're not healthy enough to enjoy it? Prioritizing sleep, nutrition, and movement isn't a luxury. It's a core component of a wealthy life. Don't sacrifice your health on the altar of a bigger bank account. The two should grow together. Chapter 31. Financial Independence for the Self-Employed. If you're a freelancer, a contractor, or a small business owner, your path to financial independence looks a little different. You are the CEO, the CFO, and the entire HR department. This brings unique challenges, but also unique opportunities. Your first challenge is uneven income. Some months are feasts, others are famines. Your emergency fund is even more critical. Aim for a larger one, perhaps 6 to 12 months of expenses, to smooth out the bumps. Second, you are responsible for your own taxes. A good practice is to automatically set aside 25 to 30% of every payment you receive into a separate savings account specifically for taxes. This prevents a nasty surprise when it's time to pay your quarterly estimated taxes. Third, you have to create your own retirement plan. You don't have a company 401, but you have access to powerful alternatives like a SEP IRA or a solo 401. These accounts often allow you to contribute even more than you could in a traditional employer plan, giving you a chance to supercharge your retirement savings. Being self-employed requires more discipline, but the control and potential rewards are immense. Chapter 32. Understanding your paycheck stub. Your paycheck is more than just a number that hits your bank account. Understanding the details of your pay stub is a fundamental lesson in personal finance. It tells you exactly where your money is going before you even see it. Look at the gross path. This is your total earnings before any deductions. Then, look at the list of deductions. You'll see federal and state income taxes, as well as FICA taxes, which funds Social Security and Medicare. Then come your pre-tax deductions. This is where the magic happens. Your contributions to your 401 and often your health insurance premiums are taken out before taxes are calculated. This means that every dollar you contribute here lowers your taxable income, saving you money immediately. Finally, you get to your net pay, or take-home pay. This is the number you use to build your budget. By understanding the flow from gross to net, you can see the direct impact of increasing your 401 contributions and appreciate the significant amount of your earnings that goes toward taxes, reinforcing the importance of tax-efficient investing. Chapter 33. The Rent Versus. By Decision Revisited. We've talked about how to buy a home, but let's address a bigger question. Should you buy a home? For decades, homeownership has been pushed as the ultimate financial goal, but it's not always the best choice for everyone. Renting offers tremendous flexibility. If you get a job offer in another city or simply want to try a new neighborhood, you can move ISLE at the end of your lease. You also have predictable monthly costs and are not responsible for expensive repairs or property taxes. Buy-in offers the potential to build equity and provide stability. Your monthly mortgage payment is fixed for 30 years, while rent typically increases over time. You also have the freedom to customize your space. The right choice depends entirely on your lifestyle and your timeline. If you are not sure you will be in the same location for at least 5 to 7 years, renting is often the smarter financial move. The high transaction costs of buying and selling a home can easily wipe out any equity you build in the short term. Don't let societal pressure push you into a decision. Run the numbers and choose what's right for your life, right now. Chapter 34. The Financial Power of Saying No. In our hyper-connected world, we are constantly being invited to things. Dinners, vacations, parties, weddings. Many of these things cost money. One of the most underrated financial skills is learning to say no graciously but firmly. This isn't about being antisocial, it's about being intentional. Before you say yes to an expensive outing, ask yourself, does this align with my values and my financial goals? If the answer is no, it's okay to decline. You don't need to give a detailed financial explanation. A simple, "Thank you so much for the invitation, but I won't be able to make it," is enough. If you want to offer an alternative, you can suggest a cheaper activity, like going for a hike or having a potluck dinner at home. Every yes to something that doesn't align with your goals is a no to your future self. Protecting your time and your budget is not selfish. It is a critical act of self-care and a key to reaching your long-term goals. Chapter 35. Financial Checkups. Your annual money review. Just like you go to the doctor for an annual physical, you should conduct an annual review of your financial health. This is a dedicated time to zoom out from the day-to-day and look at the big picture. Schedule a few hours once a year. Here's a checklist. Calculate your net worth. As we discussed, track your progress year over year. Review your asset allocation. Are your investments still aligned with your risk tolerance and time horizon? Do you need to check your credit report? You can get a free report from all 3 bureaus annually. Check for any errors or fraudulent activity. Review your insurance coverage. Have any major life events happened that require you to update your life for disability insurance? Reevaluate your goals. Are your financial goals still the same? Has your why changed? Adjust your plan accordingly. This annual ritual keeps you engaged, ensures your plan stays relevant, and provides a moment to celebrate your progress and set your intentions for the year ahead. Chapter 36. Avoiding lifestyle creep with a 2-bank account system. We've mentioned lifestyle creep, the tendency to increase your spending as your income grows. Here's a tactical, powerful system to combat it. It's a variation on paying yourself first, but with a physical separation. You need to check in accounts at 2 different banks. Bank A is your bills and operations account. Your paycheck gets direct deposited here. All of your fixed costs, rent, mortgage, utilities, car payment, insurance are paid automatically from this account. Your automated transfers to savings and investments also come from this account. Bank B is your guilt-free spending account. After all, your bills and savings are taken care of in Bank A. You automatically transfer a fixed amount of fund money for the month to this account. This is the money you use for everything: variable, groceries, gas, eating out, entertainment. When the money in Bank B is gone, you're done spending for the month. This system automates good decisions. It separates your responsible, long-term self from your in-the-moment self, ensuring you can enjoy your life today without ever sacrificing your future. Chapter 37. The Long Game. Patience and the Perspective of Decades. We will end this section with the most important, and perhaps most difficult, piece of advice. Building true, lasting wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. The financial media and social media are filled with stories of overnight success. This is not reality. The stock market will have terrifying crashes. You will have years where your net worth goes down. You will feel like you're not making progress. This is all part of the process. Your greatest allies on this journey are patience and perspective. When the market panics, you must remain calm. When you feel discouraged, you must remember your why and trust the system you've built. Think in terms of decades, not days or months. The magic of compound interest doesn't really kick in for the first 5 or 10 years. It's in years 20, 30, and 40 that the growth becomes explosive. Your job in the early years is simply to show up, be consistent, and stay in the game. If you can do that, Time will do the heavy lifting for you. True wealth isn't an event. It's a habit cultivated over a lifetime. Chapter 38. Navigating the Maze of Student Loans. For millions of Americans, student loan debt is a heavy burden that can feel like a life sentence, but it doesn't have to be. Conquering this debt requires a specific strategy that goes beyond just making the minimum payment. First, you must understand your loans. Are they federal or private? Federal loans offer powerful protections and flexible repayment options that private loans do not. Log into the Federal Student Aid website and get a clear picture of every loan you have, its balance, and its interest rate. Second, explore income-driven repayment plans for your federal loans. Plans like SAVE can cap your monthly payment at a small percentage of your discretionary income. For some, the payment can even be $0. This can provide critical breathing room while you focus on other financial goals. Importantly, under some plans, any remaining balance may be forgiven after 20 to 25 years of payments. Third, decide whether to pay them off aggressively or strategically. If you have high-interest private loans, you may want to attack them with the same intensity as credit card debt. If you have low-interest federal loans and are on an IDR plan, it might make more financial sense to pay the minimum and invest the difference, letting inflation and potential forgiveness work in your favor. This is a complex decision, so run the numbers for your specific situation. Chapter 39. The Art of Thriving on an Irregular Income. Not everyone gets a steady paycheck every 2 weeks. If you're an artist, a freelancer, or work in the gig economy, your financial life is a series of peaks and valleys. The key to not just surviving but thriving is to build a financial system that embraces this variability. The foundation is an even larger emergency fund. As mentioned, 6 to 12 months of living expenses is your goal. This isn't just for emergencies, it's your income stabilizer. It allows you to pay your bills during a slow month without stress. Next, adopt the pay yourself a salary method. All your income, from every client and gig, goes into one business checking account. Then, once a month, you pay yourself a fixed, predictable salary into your personal checking account. This salary should be based on your average monthly expenses, not your best month's income. This creates the consistency that your variable income lacks. During feast months, when you earn far more than your salary, the excess stays in the business account, building up a buffer for the lean months. This system turns your unpredictable income into a predictable financial life. Chapter 40. Decoding the Car Buying Trap. Outside of a house, a car is the largest purchase most people will make. It's also one of the easiest places to destroy wealth. The entire dealership experience is designed to separate you from your money by focusing on the monthly payment. The first rule of smart car buying is to ignore the monthly payment. Focus only on the out-the-door price of the vehicle. This includes the car's price, taxes, and all fees. Get this price in writing before you ever discuss financing. The second rule is to buy used. A new car loses a significant portion of its value the second you drive it off the lot. A reliable, 2 to 3-year-old car gives you the best of both worlds. You get a modern vehicle without paying for the steepest part of its depreciation. The ultimate goal, if possible, is to pay cash. A car payment is a monthly anchor on your budget. If you must finance, secure your own loan pre-approval from a credit union or bank before you go to the dealership. This gives you a baseline to compare against their financing offers. A car is a depreciating asset. The less money you tie up in it, the more you have to invest in assets that grow. Chapter 41. Prenups and the Business of Love. The word prenup often carries a negative stigma, as if you're planning for divorce. It's time to reframe that. A prenup is not about a lack of trust. It's about radical transparency and communication. It's a business plan for the biggest partnership of your life. A prenup forces you and your partner to have an open, honest conversation about your finances before you get married. You discuss your assets, your debts, your financial goals, and your expectations for how money will be handled in the marriage. This process alone can strengthen a relationship by getting everything out in the open. It also provides clarity and protection. It outlines how assets would be divided if the marriage were to end, which can prevent a costly and emotionally devastating legal battle down the road. This is especially important if one partner is bringing significantly more assets or debt into the marriage, or if there's a family business or inheritance to protect. Think of it as insurance. You hope you never need it, but you're incredibly glad it's there. If you do, Chapter 42. Defining enough. The finish line you set for yourself. In the endless pursuit of more, it's easy to forget to ask the most important question. How much is enough? Without a clear answer, you risk spending your entire life on a treadmill, chasing a finish line that always moves. Defining your enough point is a deeply personal exercise. It's the amount of money or level of investment income that would allow you to live a life you find truly rich and fulfilling, without excess. It's the intersection of your financial reality and your personal values. To find your number, think about your ideal day, week, and year. What would you do if you didn't have to work for money? How much would that lifestyle truly cost? You might be surprised to find that your dream life is much cheaper than you think. When you know your enough number, you can work toward a concrete goal. More importantly, it gives you permission to get off the treadmill once you reach it. It allows you to shift your focus from accumulation to other things: your health, your relationships, your community, your hobbies. True wealth is not having the most, it's needing the least. Chapter 43. Raising Financially Competent Kids. The greatest financial gift you can give your children is not a trust fund, but a strong financial education. Start early and make the lessons age. For young children, use a clear jar for allowance. This lets them physically see their money growing or shrinking. Teach them the 3-jar system: one for saving, one for spending, and one for sharing or giving. This introduces the core concepts of budgeting and charity from the beginning. As they get older, be transparent about family finances. You don't need to share your salary, but you can talk about we can go on this vacation, but it means we need to cut back on eating out for a few months. This teaches them about opportunity costs. When they are teenagers, help them open a checking account and a Roth IRA once they have their first job. Matching their Roth IRA contributions, just like an employer match, is an incredibly powerful lesson in compound interest. By demystifying money, you equip them to build their own healthy financial futures. Chapter 44. The Windfall Playbook. Managing Sudden Wealth. Receiving a large sum of money unexpectedly, in inheritance, a settlement, a big bonus scan, feel like a dream come true, but it can quickly turn into a nightmare if not handled properly. The first and most important rule is: do nothing. Don't quit your job. Don't buy a new car. Don't tell everyone you know. For at least 6 months, your only move should be to put the money in a safe high-yield savings account and breathe. This pause gives you time for the initial emotion to fade so you can think rationally. During this time, your second step is to assemble your team. This may include a fee-only financial planner, a CPA, and an estate planning attorney. They can help you understand the tax implications and create a comprehensive plan. Finally, create that plan before you spend a dime. Decide how the money will support your long-term goals. Will it pay off your mortgage? Max out your retirement accounts for the next decade? Fund your kids' college education? A plan turns a one-time event into a lifetime of financial security. Chapter 45. When and how to hire a financial advisor. While DIY investing is a great path for many, there are times when professional help is invaluable, but you need to hire the right kind of help. The most important term to look for is a fiduciary is legally and ethically bound to act in your best interest. Not all financial advisors are. Some are just salespeople who earn commissions by selling you HIFA products. The second term to look for is fee. This means the advisor is paid directly by you, either a flat fee, an hourly rate, or a percentage of the assets they manage. This removes the conflict of interest inherent in commission-based sales. You are paying for their advice, not a product. When might you need one? During major life transitions, when dealing with a complex financial situation like a windfall or starting a business, or simply when you feel overwhelmed and want a professional partner to help you build and stick to a plan. Chapter 46. Overcoming Financial Anxiety. Let's be honest, money can be a huge source of stress and anxiety. It can keep you up at night and strain your relationships. Acknowledging this is the first step to managing it. One of the best antidotes to anxiety is action. Anxiety often stems from a feeling of being out of control. By taking small, concrete steps, tracking your spending, setting up an automatic transfer, making a list of your debts, regain a sense of agency. You are no longer a passive victim of your circumstances. You are the one in charge. Focus on what you can control. You can't control the stock market, interest rates, or the global economy, but you can control your savings rate, your spending habits, and your commitment to your plan. Pour your energy into your own actions, not into a world of worries outside your influence. And if your financial anxiety feels overwhelming, seek help. Talking to a trusted friend, a fee-only financial planner, or a mental health professional can provide perspective and support. Your mental well-being is priceless. Chapter 47. The One-Page Financial Plan. After an hour of advice, how can you distill it all into something you can actually use? By creating a one-page financial plan. This isn't a complex spreadsheet. It's a simple document that outlines your core values and financial directives. On a single sheet of paper, write down the answers to these questions. My why. What is the ultimate purpose of my money? My goals. What are my top 3 to 5 financial goals? My savings rate. I will save. Invest _% of my income. My debt plan. I will use the _ method. My investment plan. I will invest consistently in low-cost index funds. Inside my 401 and Roth IRA. My money mantra, a short phrase to keep me on track. Keep this one-page plan somewhere you can see it. It is your constitution, your North Star. When faced with a financial decision, you can simply ask, does this align with my plan? It simplifies the complex and keeps you focused on what truly matters. Conclusion. we have reached the end of our hour together. We've journeyed from the core of your money mindset to the practical tactics of investing. From breaking the chains of debt to designing the retirement of your dreams, if you feel a sense of information overload, take a deep breath. That's perfectly normal. You don't have to implement all of this overnight. Remember, this is not a sprint to a finish line. It is the beginning of a lifelong practice. The goal of this hour was not to give you a rigid set of rules, but to give you a new lens through which to see your financial life, a lens of intention, of purpose, and of control. So, what now? Don't let this hour just be an hour of passive listening. Turn it into action. Choose one that you'll do today. Maybe it's calculating your net worth for the first time. Maybe it's setting up that automatic transfer to your savings account, even if it's just for $20. Maybe it's having that first open money conversation with your partner. Or maybe it's writing out your one-page financial plan. Pick your first step, however small, and take it. Because that single step is the start of momentum. And momentum, cultivated over time through discipline and patience, is what builds wealth. Remember your why. Remember that every dollar you manage with intention is a vote for the life you want to live. You are not just building a bigger bank account. You are building a life of freedom, security, and choice. The power to transform your financial future is not in the hands of some guru or a Wall Street genius. It has been in your hands all along. Now, you have the roadmap. Thank you for investing this time in yourself. The journey ahead is yours to create. Go and build a rich life.